popping, doing flips and shit. The dope is splashing, getting everybody all wet. But this ain't SeaWorld, this is real as it gets.
Oh, hi guys. Alright, welcome to the Lich King. This is a 5-phase fight, so we'll go through each one individually. Phase 1, you'll notice first the tank placement. The tank holding the Lich King picks him up, turns him around, keeps him on the teleporter, and puts his back to the other tank. Other tank stands about 10 yards away and picks up all of the adds. He picks up the adds and holds them there because of the first ability we'll see from the Lich King, called Necrotic Plague, which I just got hit with. The people who get hit with Necrotic Plague, you run over and stand behind the adds. Eventually somebody cleanses you, hopefully before it ticks on you, like Ain let it do to me there. And the plague jumps off of you and jumps onto the adds that are being held by the off-tank. The off-tank wants to try to pick up not only the big guys, those shambling horrors, but also the little guys, the drudge ghouls, so that the disease can bounce around between them. As the disease bounces around between them, it will kill them and pick up a stack and then jump to another one of the adds, hopefully. Occasionally it will jump to the tank, so the healers just have to cleanse it back off onto the mobs. It's important not to run in front of the shambling horror because they have a frontal shockwave that will do a lot of damage. And occasionally the shambling horrors will become enraged. We use Hunter Trank to take that off, but a well-equipped rogue can probably do that as well. If you have two of them up and they're both enraged, tank should probably think about a cooldown. During phase 1, you'll see the Lich King right there was just casting something called Infest. Infest is a dot that he'll put on everybody in the raid. It can't be dispelled. In order to get rid of it, you have to heal everybody up over 90%. The big cheat is a Disciplined Priest can shield the entire raid. When the entire raid is shielded, Infest will hit you and you won't drop below 90%, so it goes right off. And that was a good example right there of the Infest. This is a little zoom in on my my mod. You can see the Infest on the side. When the Lich King gets down to 72-73%, we begin to kite back towards the edge. You'll see our bear is pulling the Lich King back now, and everybody will step over onto the platform that's on the side, and the Lich King will begin to cast Remorseless Winter. There we go, right on cue. If you have some shambling horrors and some drudge ghouls up, usually the disease will bounce around and kill them. The healers just have to be vigilant about dispelling it so that it bounces off people. So you saw there I had a Raging Spirit come out of me. It has the skull on it now. You'll get 3 Raging Spirits during the first transition. This, I guess, would be phase 2. So the tanks need to pick them up quickly, and everybody will burn them down. At the same time, you will have frost orbs coming in from the right. You can see one there, sort of on the right, that just got killed. The ranged need to deal with those, in addition to taking care of the Raging Spirits. And there you go. There's a good view of the ices coming in. As the Raging Spirits are being tanked, here's one coming out on me, Giant Boomkin, getting picked up by the tanks. As the Raging Spirits are getting tanked, they have a frontal conal ability that does a silence to the tanks, and that has to be cleansed so that they can taunt. After a minute, there is a quake. Everybody gets off that platform. You'll see the platform sort of in the background will drop away. If you're still on it, you die. When you come in from that transition, you need to take care of the ice orbs, and then everybody gets into the middle. We like to have our hunter Jojo drop a frost trap, and you get ready for the Valkyrie. You can see the Valkyrie just pick somebody up behind me. You immediately need to start burning them down. At the same time, you're watching out for Defile. Defile is an ability cast onto a random raid member, and they wind up dropping a big black lava pool, and there you go, there was one right there. The person who has it will actually do a little say, if you have DBM loaded up, that they have Defile on them and everybody needs to get away, and you need to jump out of the Defile. The Raging Spirit is going to be DPS's first concern until it's down. You can see here that we have ours down. And now it is just a matter of watching for the Defiles and the Valkyrie, and it is a good idea to continue to chatter it up on Vent to have somebody call those out. So here comes the Valkyrie. It almost overlaps with the Defile, so we all sort of run out as the person gets picked up. The Defile's being dropped off to my right. The big thing with the Valkyrie, they are going to speed for the edge, as you can see the Valkyrie is doing there. You need to stun them and slow them, although stuns are going to be on diminishing returns unless you have a warrior whose charge is not on DR. So it is imperative that you don't overstun, or the stuns will no longer work. You can see there we sort of save that person by the skin of their teeth. We have another Defile coming. You can see it being cast, and the people spread out, and it got dropped over onto the right. The person has a skull on them. The other ability to watch out for during this phase is called Soul Reaper. It is an attack that is done on the tank that is holding the Lich King. It will put a debuff onto the tank called Soul Reaper that after 5 seconds hits them for 30 or 40k. So the danger is that they're still taking melee strikes from the Lich King while this thing is going to hit them for a tremendous amount of damage. So the key really is to have some tank cooldowns ready and also have some external cooldowns ready. And really it's just a matter of communication to figure out what you need. The other way to do it is to have the off tank taunt the Lich King so that the Lich King is running during the 5 seconds where you have the debuff on you. That's really just a matter of style between the tanks that are holding it. Other than that, phase 2 is just a matter of dealing with the Valkyrie and the Defile, and the fact that they're on timers that sometimes overlap in really annoying ways. You can see there's a Defile coming out right next to me. You have to be aware, and it's important to have people calling it out on vent so that nobody sort of falls asleep on you. That's pretty much it for this phase. It's just rinse and repeat until you get the Lich King to 40%, which is going to start phase 4, which is the second transition. The goal is at 42-43%. There's another infest. 42-43%. You need to start kiting them over to one side so that people can get right onto the platform, which will re-emerge. If you have a Valkyrie coming, when it gets down to 42-43%, you can chain them or stun them or slow them, and then push the Lich King like we did there. So you'll see that the platform's about to pop back up, and we'll step right onto that. The Valkyrie, as long as you keep the person alive that the Valkyrie is holding, they will harmlessly drop them onto the platform, and then you can begin dealing with the Raging Spirits again. If you stun or chain the Valkyrie sort of in the middle of that Remorseless Winter, you're going to wind up getting the person killed. So it's a little bit of finesse to make sure that you get enough stuns on them to slow the Valkyrie down, but not so much that you get them killed from Remorseless Winter. This transition is pretty much exactly the same. Healers, you'll notice that the damage is a lot higher, and you get 4 Raging Spirits instead of 3. But other than that, it's the same situation. The Raging Spirits pop up. Usually you have one tank out there who will pick up the Raging Spirit and kind of hand it off to the other tank by backing up and turning them so that they don't hit the melee stack. And then they can come back out. Healers, the silence that the Raging Spirits put onto your tanks is dispellable. When you come out of that transition, range need to look out for Ice Orbs like we're doing here to take care of them. And then you set up the DPS to continue working on those Raging Spirits. There is a mechanic called Harvest Soul. I'll show you that now in sort of a little cutaway, so let's do that now. So Harvest Soul is a dot. It will do a bunch of damage to you, so you need to get some heals. You can see I get low there, and it pops you inside of Frostmourne. Once you're inside of Frostmourne, you'll see a mob and an NPC that are fighting. If you are a DPS or a tank, you attack the mob. If you're a healer, you heal up the NPC. The mob from time to time will channel an attack. You can see it's doing it there. And you want to interrupt that if you're a DPS or a tank. I use Typhoon there to do that. Or if you're a healer, you can dispel it off the NPC. When the mob dies, you pop yourself right out of Frostmourne and get back to the fight.